There's a fresh development stirring around the NBA rumor mill involving Drew Holiday and a potential trade that could reshape both the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. As the offseason heats up, the possibility of Holiday changing jerseys is becoming a hot topic, and the Mavericks seem to be emerging as a plausible trade partner. The intrigue around this move comes not just from Holiday's skill set, but also from the complex financial and strategic layers that surround this potential deal. The Dallas Mavericks, a team with legitimate championship aspirations, have plenty of reasons to explore acquiring Drew Holiday. They already boast a solid core, led by Kyrie Irving, who himself faces uncertainty regarding his availability through the next season, making it clear Dallas needs reliable ball handling and veteran leadership to maintain their competitive edge. Holiday, a two-time NBA champion, brings exactly that kind of championship pedigree and defensive prowess that Dallas could leverage as they push to contend. According to reports from trusted league insiders, Dallas is expected to at least test the waters on whether a trade for Holiday is possible, though the salary complexities are significant. Holiday's contract, with 3 years remaining and a total value north of $100 million, makes any trade far from straightforward. The Celtics are in a position where shedding salary is crucial, with the team currently facing luxury tax issues that make retaining such a high-paid player untenable. Moving Holiday makes practical sense. His hefty salary, combined with Boston's urgent need to clear cap space, means he's likely the centerpiece in any move designed to free up financial flexibility. From the Mavericks' perspective, Holiday's presence would bolster a defense-oriented roster hungry for experience and toughness. While Dallas has promising young talent like rookie Cooper Flagg, they lack seasoned veterans who can steady the ship in high-pressure moments. Adding a player like Holiday who can control the pace and make smart decisions on both ends of the court could be a pivotal upgrade. Alongside figures like Klay Thompson, who's also part of Dallas now and is known for his sharpshooting and championship experience, the Mavericks would have a core loaded with proven winners. However, it's important to note that the Mavericks aren't banking everything on landing Holiday. There's significant interest in players such as Lonzo Ball, who represents a more flexible trade option given his contract and skill set. This suggests Dallas will keep multiple cards on the table this summer, exploring different paths to improve their roster without committing entirely to a blockbuster Holiday trade. The Celtics, meanwhile, must navigate the tricky balance of moving salary while maintaining a competitive roster. Derek White, a vital contributor with a relatively modest contract under $30 million, is not expected to be moved, and other core players are largely untouchable. That puts Holiday squarely in the spotlight as the most feasible outgoing asset. From a strategic standpoint, the Celtics' depth at the guard position makes Holiday somewhat expendable. They boast emerging talents like Peyton Pritchard, who made a significant leap last season and even earned 6th Man of the Year honors. Pritchard's improved offensive efficiency and ability to run the offense at a lower salary make him a highly cost-effective option, especially compared to Holiday's massive cap hit, which includes a player option worth $37 million when he's 37 years old. Given Boston's front court struggles and the need to manage luxury tax burdens, keeping Holiday simply doesn't make financial or basketball sense. Of course, executing a trade for Holiday will be complicated. A straightforward one-for-one deal with Dallas is unlikely to solve Boston's salary issues, because Dallas itself is near luxury tax limits and can't absorb too much salary without significant cost. This reality almost certainly means a third team will need to be involved to facilitate a trade that works for all parties. Boston might look to offload part of Holiday's salary to a team like the Brooklyn Nets or another franchise willing to take on some financial burden, helping the Celtics get closer to the NBA's secondary luxury tax apron, which is around $29 million above the salary cap. The presence of this secondary tax apron is a critical factor in the Celtics' off-season planning. Currently, they're more than $20 million over that threshold, which imposes steep financial penalties. Because of this, Boston's ability to send multiple players away in trades is limited, narrowing their pool of potential trade partners. Teams that are themselves above the secondary apron won't be able to take on large contracts like Holiday's without facing similar financial consequences. Dallas, sitting just shy of this threshold, has some room, but not much wiggle to absorb a huge salary. Still, Dallas's roster is full of movable parts that Boston could find valuable. The Mavericks have a collection of mid-level or below mid-level exception contracts, which might serve as convenient salary fillers for Boston. These players might not be stars, but could be useful as expiring contracts or as trade chips to further adjust Boston's salary cap in the near future. When analyzing Dallas's roster, certain names come up as realistic pieces that could be involved in a holiday trade. Daniel Gafford, for example, is a solid young big man on a one-year expiring contract worth about $14 million. He has shown good rebounding and shot blocking ability and fits Boston's timeline well. Being just 26 years old, players like PJ Washington, Caleb Martin, and Jaden Hardy also present intriguing options for Boston, though their inclusion would depend on the specific terms and goals of the trade. Klay Thompson, despite being a high-profile veteran with championship experience, is more of a wild card in this scenario. His connection to the West Coast and family ties to the Lakers might make a move to Boston less likely. But from a purely basketball perspective, he would fit well in the Celtics offense, which emphasizes spacing and three-point shooting. He could provide steady scoring and some defensive presence, especially in a system that moves the ball effectively and creates open looks. On the other hand, younger players like Brandon Williams, who show promise in the NBA play-in tournament, with efficient scoring and playmaking, could serve as a backup point guard option for Boston once Holiday departs. This kind of depth and youth movement is crucial for the Celtics as they aim to maintain competitiveness while navigating salary. Constraints. Of course, not every trade scenario looks equally appealing to Celtics fans. Some of the more realistic offers may not bring back flashy draft capital or star players, but rather a package of role players and depth pieces that keep Boston competitive while freeing up cap space. This trade-off is a common theme in the NBA when dealing with high-salary veterans like Holiday. Fans will undoubtedly debate which trade ideas make the most sense. Whether it's a package including PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford with draft protections, a deal involving Klay Thompson and Brandon Williams, or a no-draft capital swap featuring younger role players like Caleb Martin and Omax Prosper, each option carries its own risks and rewards. What remains clear is that the Celtics face a critical decision this offseason on how to handle Jrue Holiday's contract while balancing the team's championship aspirations and financial realities. Discussions continue. The league will be watching closely to see how these negotiations unfold. The Celtics need to be creative and patient, especially considering the luxury tax implications and the challenge of finding a trade partner willing and able to absorb Holiday's hefty salary. Meanwhile, the Mavericks must weigh their championship window and decide whether acquiring a player like Holiday with his experience and skill set can push them over the edge. No matter what happens, Jrue Holiday's future is one of the most fascinating storylines of this NBA offseason, with ripple effects that could shape the futures of both franchises involved. While the logistics of the trade remain complex, the underlying motivations for both teams become clearer the more you analyze the situation. For Boston, the priority is not simply to trade Jrue Holiday, but to create a sustainable roster that can compete now and into the future without crippling financial constraints. The Celtics have built a talented squad anchored by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two All-Stars under long-term contracts, and adding or retaining complementary pieces is critical to supporting their championship window. Yet luxury tax penalties impose a heavy burden, one that could jeopardize the franchise's long-term flexibility if not managed properly. Trading Holiday, whose player option at $37 million looms large, is a practical necessity rather than a luxury. The Celtics front office is well aware that they cannot afford to carry such a salary while maintaining enough depth and talent elsewhere on the roster. The luxury tax penalties not only affect the team's finances, but also restrict their ability to add or retain other key contributors. As a result, the Celtics are searching for a trade package that allows them to shed Holiday's contract while receiving players who can contribute, ideally on manageable deals or expiring contracts. That won't anchor the team to future financial woes. Still, Dallas must navigate their own salary cap constraints. The Mavericks are not a team with limitless financial flexibility. They too sit near the luxury tax line, meaning any trade involving Holiday's sizable contract will likely require Dallas to move other salaries or include draft picks to sweeten the deal. This is where the complexity of a three-team trade emerges as the most viable solution. By involving a third team willing to absorb part of Holiday's contract or send back additional salary, the Mavericks and Celtics can structure a deal that complies with the NBA's collective bargaining agreement and financial rules. Among potential third-team candidates, franchises looking to accumulate draft capital or rebuild may find value in absorbing expiring contracts or taking on a veteran, like Holiday if the terms are favorable. These teams could act as intermediaries, providing salary relief to the Celtics while offering Dallas a chance to add a key contributor without sacrificing too many future assets. The art of these multi-team trades lies in balancing not only salary but also player fit and long-term team goals. The Celtics front office has demonstrated a willingness to be patient and methodical during the offseason, prioritizing moves that preserve the championship window rather than quick fixes. And that could backfire. Their reluctance to move players like Derek White or Marcus Smart underscores their commitment to maintaining a competitive core. This philosophy narrows their trade options, but ultimately aligns with building a roster capable of contending for titles over several years. In this context, players like Daniel Gafford, Caleb Martin, and PJ Washington take on added significance. Each offers different skill sets and contract situations that could appeal to Boston's roster construction goals. Gafford's rebounding and defensive presence could shore up Boston's interior, which has been a weakness at times. Martin's versatility and energy would provide depth on both ends of the floor, while Washington's shooting and size offer floor spacing and matchup advantages. Though none are superstar-level players, their contracts are reasonable, and their contributions could be vital in a balanced Celtics lineup. For Dallas, balancing the integration of Holiday means also considering the impact on their existing young players. Cooper Flagg, a promising rookie, represents the future, but developing talent while chasing immediate success can create tension. Holiday's veteran savvy could ease this transition, mentoring younger guards and helping them adjust to the physical and mental demands of playoff basketball. Additionally, his proven ability to perform in high-pressure moments could be exactly what Dallas needs to overcome their recent postseason hurdles. The possibility of including Klay Thompson in a trade package adds an interesting wrinkle. Thompson's championship pedigree and sharpshooting complement the Mavericks' style, but his contract and age make the fit less obvious. Moreover, Thompson has family ties and personal preferences that might influence his willingness to relocate, especially across the country. While a move to Boston seems unlikely given geographic and financial considerations, the fact that Dallas holds Thompson's contract gives them leverage in negotiations with Boston. Beyond the mechanics of the trade itself, the ripple effects on team chemistry and locker room dynamics are significant. Bringing in a player like Holiday means integrating a strong personality who demands defensive accountability and leadership. This could strengthen Dallas's culture if managed well, but it also requires careful balancing with existing stars. Similarly, Boston must consider how incoming role players will fit alongside their established core, maintaining a healthy locker room environment essential for championship success. Looking ahead, the success or failure of this potential trade will hinge on many factors beyond salary math. The on-court fit, injury risks, and long-term team vision all play crucial roles. Both franchises face high stakes, with the Celtics eager to protect and extend their title window, and the Mavericks seeking that final piece to ascend to true contender status. As the summer progresses, NBA fans and analysts will be watching closely. The Jrue Holiday trade scenario exemplifies the complexities of modern NBA roster building, where financial considerations, player value, and strategic timing all intertwine. It's a reminder that behind every headline trade rumor lies a delicate balancing act, shaped by rules, relationships, and ambitions. Ultimately, this offseason saga reflects the evolving nature of the NBA. Teams must be nimble, creative, and patient, juggling competing priorities while aiming for excellence. Whether Holiday ends up in Dallas or stays in Boston or moves elsewhere, the decisions made in the coming weeks will resonate across the league and define the trajectories of two franchises hungry for success. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In the midst of an already tense season, whispers are spreading fast around the Boston Celtics organization. Sources close to the team suggest that head coach Joe MAZZULLA may be nearing a breaking point, reportedly losing his patience with a certain player who is said to be contaminating the locker room. While the specifics remain vague, insiders hint at growing frustration within the coaching staff over the impact this individual might be having on team chemistry. The Celtics have always been known for their strong culture and tight-knit group, but recent rumors indicate that cracks could be forming behind the scenes. The phrase reportedly used by MAZZULLA, "this player is contaminating the roster," has quickly caught fire among fans and analysts alike, sparking intense speculation about who might be the source of such unrest. Is it a veteran struggling with their role, a younger player acting out, or perhaps a recent addition failing to mesh with the team's core? The lack of clarity only fuels the buzz. MAZZULLA, who stepped into the head coaching role with hopes of steadying the ship and guiding Boston back to championship contention, seems to be facing unexpected challenges managing personalities as much as X's and O's. The pressure to deliver results on the court may be magnifying every internal disagreement, making it harder for the Celtics to maintain their usual level of focus and unity. This rumored tension raises questions about what, if any, changes might be on the horizon. Could the Celtics consider moving the contaminating player to protect the locker room harmony, or will MAZZULLA double down on his leadership approach, aiming to mend fences and restore a positive environment? Either way, this brewing drama adds a new layer of intrigue to Boston's season and could have major implications if it escalates. For now, the Celtics remain tight-lipped, refusing to comment on internal matters, yet the buzzing rumors are hard to ignore, suggesting that behind the polished game day performances, there might be a storm quietly brewing under the surface. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on MAZZULLA and his ability to navigate this delicate situation, balancing discipline with empathy to keep the Celtics on track. Whether this will be a fleeting moment of frustration or the start of a deeper rift, only time will tell. But one thing is clear, the Celtics locker room might be far from the harmonious unit fans expect, and the impact of this contaminating presence could shape the trajectory of Boston's campaign in unexpected ways. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.